Hi, everybody. I've had an absolute blast recording your championship intros on audio and also on video. And for those of you that didn't know, the videos can be done special exactly the way you like them because these are green screens and we can do them with a scene behind me. Do you want a fighting scene? Do you want a beach scene? Do you want a race car scene? Any scene you want, we can give it to you. It's your theme and my pleasure. Just write our offices and we will answer you with the exact fee involved and how it'll get done. So here we are, and now it's time, and it's your choice. Cheers! From the shores of Malibu where the waves are pumping, to the Great Wall of China and back to the streets of Las Vegas where the UFC is coming. We are live. This is It's Time Radio, the show where we talk about what you think about, but may be afraid to voice. Do not worry. We will voice it for you. We talk about everything on Its Time. Politics, UFC, film, TV, sex, drugs, rock and roll, and what more, what better, what's more happening than to have the beautiful, the wonderful co-host Sammy Phillips on the show, because it's going to be talked about today in more ways than one. We've got some juicy topics to talk about, and along with my co-host and my producer, TJ DeSantis. TJ, Sammy, we're
What's
here.
up, Buff?
The Three Musketeers ready to rock and roll. Let's do this thing.
I'm like, buckle up and get ready for the ride, kids.
Yeah,
Sam wanted to have Ray Longo on the show, and we'll reunite them down the road. Ray couldn't be here today, but
I love Ray.
Yeah,
I fucking love Ray. I love the things he says. I love everything about Ray. He's fantastic.
He's kind of a male version of you, Sammy. Not that I don't speak my mind or TJ doesn't, but you know what? When it comes out of his mouth, it's just so true. It's like you can't even question a thing. It's like there's no, what is it? No filter? Is that what it is?
Yeah, pretty much. No filter.
Yeah, no filter.
That's what I would expect from a New Yorker like Ray.
Yeah, that's why I love him.
Epitome.
He's like my people.
Yeah.
All right. Lots of things are happening. Let's just touch on a couple serious notes here first. Ukraine. My gosh, those Ukraine towns used to be so beautiful. When you see these pictures of everything happening, it's still going on. There's talk about Putin laying low a little bit. Now there's an article today that they're going to reinforce. God knows what's going to happen. We don't know until it happens. And all I can say is with everything going on, God, my heart, everything goes out to these people. It's a very depressing thing to look at each day. And if anybody has anything to complain about here in your hometown in the United States, whether you have a sore thumb, a sore arm, or maybe you didn't get much sleep last night, we have nothing to complain about. We are not in the Ukraine.
Also, too, just the Ukrainian army and military and just everyday citizens that have been, defending their turf and standing up to, one of the more powerful armies and armed forces in the world in Russia. It's crazy how well they've done in sort of thwarting this advancement.
Amazing how well they've done.
Hold on.
Go ahead, Sammy.
Do not leave out the poor Russian people who do not agree with this war.
Right. Yeah.
Who want no part of this war.
Right.
I'm sure you guys saw that viral video where there was a news broadcast going on.
Yep.
And the lady who worked at the news station probably is dead somewhere, like in the gulag or wherever the fuck they put them, tortured and this, that, and the other for being an insurgent or whatever.
I saw an interview with her.
Oh, thank God she's still alive.
Yeah.
Okay. Holding up a sign saying no war. They don't want war. Most of the people in Russia don't want to be a part of this. And not to mention, they're back on like bread lines and fucking back to sanctions, and their ruble is worth 1 penny. Like the people that don't want to be a part of that war are also victims. So I feel bad on both ends. And the one person I can't stand is that motherfucker Putin.
Well, also too, I don't think they're allowed to speak up anymore and protest. Like you get fined for it or thrown in jail.
Arrested.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like that's not freedom.
No, and then it's a black mark on your record forever in that country, from what we read. And Putin's probably, it's been reported, probably one of, if not the richest man in the world. It's like he's sitting back, his country's going down the tubes financially, economically. And what about the fact of these young Russian soldiers that are on the front lines that don't even want to be there and don't understand why they be there, but they're serving their country.
They have to. Here's the thing. If the ruble is so fucking like diminished compared to the dollar now, wouldn't his the richest man in the entire world not be that rich anymore if his money's in rubles? I'm sure he's got money in other denominations or whatever,
Well,
but don't think that the majority of this guy's money isn't fucking Russian.
Well,
Have no idea. Have no idea. It could be in gold and silver. It could be where it's in real estate. It's God knows what. Who could?
Well, I heard that he was like getting into crypto. Like Russia was like dipping into that market with their money.
Crypto's starting to go up again. It could be resolved.
Oh my God! Did you guys, not to deviate? Did you see the freaking documentary on Netflix? It's a new one on the crypto guy.
I watched it this morning. It was amazing.
It is so fucking, what the fuck?
Crazy.
What? I got to watch this then. I'll check it out.
Yeah.
He basically embezzled and scammed all these poor people out of, like, he set up a trading bank.
Oh, it was like $40 billion, some ridiculous amount of money.
120 million.
Yeah, 120 million.
But they're from everyday people who took out loans. One kid took out a loan for 70 grand. One put his life savings, and he basically took their money, gave them fake crypto stocks.
Don't spoil it, Sam.
Yeah,
don't spoil everything.
I'll catch it. I'll catch it.
But basically, this company was a crypto exchange in Canada, and they were number one in the country.
Like one of the first, like jumping on the bandwagon. It was the place for Canadians to buy crypto.
Yeah, but it's a crazy story, Bruce. So go check it out. I can't remember what it's called.
It's called, hold on, because I watched.
Check what it's called while I tell you a little story here.
No One, The Hunt for the Crypto King.
Yeah, there you go.
Check it out. I'll check it out.
Trust no one. The Hunt for the Crypto King.
Here's another note on this, going back to the Ukraine situation that's absolutely despicable. Thieves in New York City, okay, a nonprofit organization put together 400 bulletproof vests that are to be donated to the Ukraine, and thieves stole them.
What?
Yeah, they were stolen.
I assume like those are pretty expensive.
Oh, a vest?
Yeah.
I remember, I've owned one. I never bought one. I was given one. Oh, you want to hear something crazy? Steve McQueen, the actor, gave an old style bulletproof vest to my brother, Brian, right? To my brother, Brian, to me and my brother, Brian. It was hanging in an area in my closet, got stolen.
Really?
Imagine what that vest would be worth. I mean,
seriously. Well, the thing is though, like, how would you prove it? You'd have to have like a certificate of authenticity.
His son would write me a COA in a second.
Okay. Yeah.
His jacket for bullet is valued at $800,000.
That's crazy, man.
His sport coat. Anyway, it's not about the money. Getting back to this, that's horrific. That's horrible. So again, we're sending our condolences, our best wishes, anything that can be done for this country and everything going on, and let's just see how this all pans out. So people were wondering.
Wait, not to jump in really quick. Did you guys hear how other countries are offering refugees from the Ukraine the ability to come and join their country and be French or be German, or Swiss, or be Polish, or wherever every country's like opened up their borders to refugees that are Ukrainian and offered like, hey, come to our country. We will help integrate you. Like, that's a big freaking thing, dude.
That's a big thing. And I don't know if the United States is offering citizenship, but if I'm not incorrect, I read the day before yesterday that 100,000 Ukrainian refugees are either on their way or have already arrived here in the United States.
Yeah, I saw a gentleman on CNN last night. He's a like 65-year-old man. His wife is in a nursing home and has been there for like 4 years. And he basically adopted a Ukrainian family and their 3 kids, and they're just living in a house in Miami, and he's helping them get back on their feet.
Good for him. Good for him. People are wondering if a recession is coming. There's so much going on right now. Alan Greenspan, the man that can just make a comment and the stock market goes up or down. Get this. One of the key signs in history, as long as he's been doing it, he reports, is if this little industry shows a dip, then we're going into recession. And there's no way you're going to guess what it is. The answer is the sale of men's underwear.
What?
If men stop buying, because obviously nobody can see your underwear, right?
Right. Yeah.
So they stop buying new underwear and saving money, keeping wearing their underwear longer. That's a key economic predictor.
Wait, I have to stop. Bruce, when was the last time you bought underpants?
Just like a couple months ago.
How many?
Usually when I'll buy a half dozen pair, 4 or 6 pair.
Yeah.
I also had a company called Built that sent me a supply of underwear like last November. They wanted me to be ambassador. They're really fine company, BYLT. Check them out.
So
great clothes, but we didn't come to a deal. But I
I love new underwear. Yeah.
Okay,
Here's what
so-
underwear I wear. I wear Lululemon underwear, which is great underwear. I know I really like it. And this Built underwear is good. And Calvin Klein. I like Calvin Klein.
Okay, so forget the underwear that you were given. You personally going out and purchasing underpants. You go 3 times a year and you get like 6 pairs.
So are you not going to ask me?
I haven't gotten to you yet. I'm just trying to get the number from him.
I can't
Yeah,
say
like
it's 18 or 20 or whatever, but I mean,
Okay,
yeah.
here. Okay, TJ, when was the last time you went and bought underpants?
I buy underpants probably once a month. When I travel,
How
for
many?
the
How many? I know why. Because you
okay.
throw them out, you leave them in hotels, and you get new ones.
100%. You are correct. Yep. Usually buy a 10-pack. And that's one thing I would almost just rather buy new than just carry around with me. I like underwear. I like fresh
Here's
underwear.
the big question. Briefs, boxers, or the ones that just hug your body a little down, long.
Yeah. Boxer briefs. So, like Valley Tudo
I
shorts.
hated boxer briefs my whole life.
Really?
I don't wear briefs. I don't wear those, little.
Yeah. You just wear boxers?
No, I wear like those nice underwears, that
That's
form
like
to
a
your
Calvin
body.
Klein where it comes down your leg.
Yeah,
down your leg a little
boxer
bit.
briefs.
But
That's what they're called. They're boxer
Oh,
briefs.
but I don't like the boxers that fluff out.
No. These are Bruce.
boxer briefs. Okay, good.
Boxer briefs.
So
Yeah.
that means that they're longer and briefs that they're tight.
Right. Exactly. Because you
Yeah, I
need
like
some
those.
support there.
Oh, I don't want to say I need a lot of support, but that's cool. All right. So that's one thing for an economic thing. Also, Chris Cuomo.
Okay, so is there a shortage of underpants on the market now? Or is there like
Well,
no.
they're expensive.
No,
Like-
it's the word is how are sales. It's not about so there's plenty of underwear out there, but if underwear sales dip, that's a sign we're going into a recession.
Okay, so are we going into a recession? Or have they dipped?
I don't know. This was just a comment. There's no word here about a
I
dipping.
thought there was like a whole,
Yeah.
a whole
So
data analysis.
keep your eye on like Hanes stock or whatever.
Yeah, put it this way, Sammy. If you're dating anybody new and something happens, there's a hole in their underwear, we're going into a recession.
Oh shit.
So here's the problem, and I was guilty of this throughout my 20s. Like I would hold on to underwear for too long. I wouldn't necessarily wear them, but like I was 25 and I still owned, boxers from when I was in high school. And it's like, okay, I need to throw these out.
You're not the only man that does that. I can go into my drawer and I guarantee you, even though they're fresh and ready to go, they're still probably a couple of years old, because
Yeah.
you have a batch,
Because
wear them
you
all
have
the
like
time.
ones that are like your go-to comfort pantsies.
Yeah. So I definitely have like sweatpants that I had in high school and things that I just love I can't part with, lounging around the house clothes.
Perfect example for me is that very first black belt surfing T-shirt that I wear once in a while.
Right. Yeah.
I've had that for
You
5,
wear
6
the crap out of that thing.
It's still good quality. Check out Black Belt Surfing Attire, folks. I love that brand. All right, Chris Cuomo is demanding, not much to be said here, but he's demanding $125 million from CNN over his firing.
Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, so hold the fuck on. Stop. I have a French couple that's been staying in my house for like the last 3 weeks. And they, to me, seem a little bit more on the right side of things. And I'm a little bit more on the left side of things.
Right.
So I've not been playing CNN or anything or any fucking news. Like I'm getting little drips of drabs when I look online for stuff, but like typically, I have CNN sort of piped going on 24/7-ish when I'm not watching my shows.
Right.
So he was fired?
Oh, come on. Seriously? You didn't hear
Really?
about
You
this?
didn't know this?
No!
This is like old news.
Sammy, this is old news.
How
I thought
long
we talked
ago?
about
Oh,
thought
like
we talked about
6
this on the
months
phone.
ago.
Yeah, this is going back, Sam. He had the I guess sexual harassment, should we say?
Yeah.
Homo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought it was his brother that
Don't you know? Yeah, but he defended his brother at one
Yeah.
end, and then all of a sudden it all came out. Something
Allegations
came
came
of
out
the
for
woodwork,
him, too.
allegations against him.
And that's the thing too. I remember being on the show with you guys talking about how Andrew Cuomo was representing New York so well, and he was a bright shining example of someone that was bringing us together during hard times. And man, that stock is just falling out.
Yeah, well, he was apparently like ripping off nursing homes and putting people here and there, and people were dying, but he was really allocating money here and there, allegedly, whatever.
I mean, politicians, man. What are you gonna say?
Wow. So
Yeah.
now, okay, so what's up now? So now he's suing the CNN.
Remember when was it Billy Bush with Trump?
Yeah.
Yep.
right? And he got a big settlement, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, did
And
he?
now he's working again. And yet Trump got elected president. We all know that's a
Come on.
friggin' screw up. That's ridiculous when you think about the way it went for both people when Trump was the one talking. Anyway, that's another story. We talked about it.
Yeah,
But yes, I guess whatever's in his contract over what he was doing, he's making a hellacious amount of money. And
I'm sure there's a severance package.
But I guess he's whatever his addition to the severance package, maybe the way he was handled, his attorneys are going for 125 million.
I mean, he's entitled to do that if he wants to. It'd be hard to sort of say that he was, wrongfully terminated. That's
Here's what he's doing, guys. I'm sorry, Sammy. He feels that he had no reason, the ousted anchor had no reason to believe he was violating the network's policies. So the demand is for arbitration. It's an arbitration right now.
Yeah, but here's the issue, though. There's probably language in his contract about optics and how he's not, supposed to do anything that can bring shame or embarrassment upon the network. Yeah, so he's not going to win that probably.
It's a morality clause. I had to sign the same thing when I was doing Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, and they can actually fire you if you do something that the network feels.
I mean, any good contract, they allow these sort of, clauses to basically be on their side and find a reason to get rid of you for whatever reason they want to.
Yeah.
Who did he diddle around with? Was it like employees? Was it staff members? Was it?
Yeah, it was people that worked for CNN.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And there's some pretty blatant stuff, but again, it's allegations at this point. I don't like going into the details when we don't know the facts or the.
But again, it's also one of those situations where it's like that business just seems to be rife with these sort of people.
What was the movie with Nicole Kidman and those other fine actresses that was all about the Fox Wars? That was really good. It went over all this. What's the name of that movie, Sammy? It was so good.
I know, it was really good.
Watch that movie and get a feel for what.
Was it Charlize Theron? Who the fuck was
Charlize Theron was in it. She did an amazing job. And gosh, I forget the name of the film, but we'll come up with it. We'll Google it while we're talking, Sammy, if you can, and watch that film. Because, I'm very empathetic to what women go through in the marketplace. I mean, it's heavy. And before the Me Too movement occurred, it was worse than ever, from the Madman days to today.
If you have Showtime, you should check out the documentary series. It's a dramatized docu-series about Roger Ailes and Fox, Fox News.
That's what this was. I think this is about Fox. Yeah.
Yeah. The show that I'm talking about is The Loudest Voice. It's I think it's like a 6-part miniseries. Amazing.
That's probably covering
Bombshell. Nicole Kidman and Margot Robbie.
Yeah, Margot Robbie they all did a great job.
Yeah.
That's it right there. Watch it. I recommend that film very much.
And it was the story of Fox News.
I just don't want women to watch that. I want men to watch that. Okay. Seriously.
Well, dudes need to wake up a little bit. I'm amazed and sort of floored how confident some of these guys are with the way that they come on to women. It's just what is wrong with you? I don't get it.
Well, I think those guys are used to being bullies and sort of forcing themselves upon situations, and most weaker people acquiesce, whether it's a woman or a man in business or whatever. So those guys are used to getting results, acting a certain way. And, why not intimidate a woman when you can? I mean, if that's how you do
are they making a decision? Are they thinking about it, Sam, or are they just acting on something that they don't necessarily know about?
Like a primal thing. Or you remember that the Mystery and Matador, the two guys from VH1, The Game, Neil Strauss. It was based on, they had a reality show on VH1.
Yeah, the hookup artist, is that what it was?
Exactly. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And basically they operated with women on the basis of the Neil Strauss book called The Game, which basically you're playing a fucking game with chicks and you're negging them, which means you make a negative, you go into a bar and you sort of sidle in next to a chick and you sort of throw out a negative comment about her. So she's all like, what? No, I'm not.
Yeah. So the pickup artist is what it was called.
Thank you. So it's a way, and they specifically taught other men how to pick up women using this particular technique.
They had
So-
like a workshop and everything. You could go to
Yeah.
these seminars.
I've said this before on the show. Here's your workshop, gentlemen. Whether they're 10 feet away, 20 feet away, or whatever. First is eye contact. Okay. You need to make eye contact. And if they look back at you, maybe give you a little smile, you very simply walk over and say hello. Okay.
Yeah.
It's the easiest thing in the world to do.
But Bruce, like what Sam is talking about is like manipulation and mind games.
Oh, no, I got the mind
it's-
game, but that's ridiculous. That's a classless
Okay,
mind game.
so hold on. I want to say something what you just said, Bruce, because so I'm the worst girl going out in a bar or a club because I specifically don't want anyone looking at me. I know that sounds very weird. So I specifically don't look at you because if I look at you, that means I'm allowing you to come over. So
Right.
I overlook probably a gang of guys because I'm not looking up. I keep my focus down. I talk to my friends. The minute I start doing this, some moron's going to walk up to me and then I have to be like nice and polite.
Well, why do you go to the club then, Sam? I'm
Yeah,
curious.
that's a question right
I
there.
never go out. So here we go. I don't leave my home unless I have to go somewhere. So I don't really go out and meet guys and get to look
Sammy,
or
Sammy,
like
a lot of that.
walking through a place. I don't mean to itch. We're like walking through a restaurant. I sort of look where I'm walking. I don't want to fucking trip and whatever. I'm not, ooh, hi guys. Hey.
You know, that's one thing. I remember the internet being sort of taboo. Like a lot of people would think poorly if you met, your significant other online.
I don't do any of that stuff either because like, oh my God, I watch too many of these fucking Netflix documentaries, The Tinder Swindler.
Right.
Oh
yeah.
my God. Bad Vegan. Have you guys seen
Heard about it.
So basically, Sammy, all I watch are documentaries on
my
Netflix
God.
and Hulu.
Did you see that one?
I did. It's another great one.
Oh my God. So this lady gets swindled by a guy.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
Sammy.
That's all I'm
Just
gonna
mention
say.
the name. Let's go into more news, guys, because we got more talk here.
So really quick, this is why I'm adverse to like, oh, hey, let me go on Tinder. Let me go on whatever the fuck it is. Like,
My attitude is that I'm not for this public sites. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them.
No, but you're someone of note, Bruce.
It'd be all over. It'd be all over a forum tomorrow morning.
But here's the thing, and what I will say, what I was getting at, I feel like that taboo for most people is gone, and not necessarily Tinder, but like a lot of those dating websites seem to be the preferred method of choice rather than going out and meeting someone organically these days.
But then there's a pandemic, and what else are people supposed to fucking do except be at home on their keyboards, like meeting people? That's
right.
all I've been able to do through 2020 and 2021.
Yeah, I think there's this stat that came out that online dating is a very large percentage of how dating happens. For me personally, like I was saying previously, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the public sites. To each his own. Do what you got to do. But if I was to do it in my thing, it would be a private site, not public, where you're paying probably a healthy fee for a membership to be introduced very secretly, very quietly to people without public domain being involved.
Hey, Bruce, what's in your right hand? Is that oh shit? What's in your left hand?
This is I was just in England visiting my partners for It's Time Energy and the toiletry line, and they're making a bunch of gift sets. See, that's the It's Time hand squeezer.
Nice.
I was wondering what you were squeezing over there.
And it's adjustable. Well, it's very visual. Don't get crazy. And it's right here, so it's great. It's awesome. I love it. I'm bummed because they only had one for me when I got there, and they gave me a bunch of other It's Time swag. So that's what it is. These are
So you're
gift
working out your
sets.
forearms when you're doing that.
Absolutely, and your
Or
hands.
is it more like a stress reliever, or is it a workout?
That's what I like for it, but it actually is really good for the forearms and your hand strength, and I can adjust it to be stronger or whatever. But this is like gifts that we'll be giving out for people that purchase products.
That's awesome.
In the 40 countries we'll be in, which is really cool.
I just can't wait to see you in like a duty-free shop, Buff.
Oh yeah.
My God, it's going to be awesome. And while we're on the subject, It's Time podcast is brought to you by It's Time Energy. Yay, about to be released in America and brought to you by Millions. An example of your Millions t-shirt right here from me is the Buff Life t-shirt, the Buff Life It's Time t-shirt. Just go to millions.co and check out all my merchandise along with the Shevchenko sisters, Thug Nasty, tons of UFC, MMA star fighters and athletes from all over the world and every kind of thing from yoga to you name it. A friend of mine named Sanella, check if you like yoga. She offers videos. I tell you, millions.co is going crazy, and I'm very proud of it. So check it out. Okay, let's move on. We got to talk about it, folks. Oh, first off, COVID. The BA2 variant is now the prominent variant in the USA. Let's cross our fingers.
What is that one? Is that Omicron? Is that a different one?
Omicron, BA, if I'm not mistaken, it's the variant to the last one. Now, here's the bitch about this. The last one was supposedly, give or take, 70% more infectious than the Delta, which was, give or take, 70% more infectious than the original COVID that I got, right? Or maybe I got the Delta. Now, the Omicron came out. Now the BA2 is coming out, which they say is 75 or 80% more infectious than the Omicron that was so infectious. I mean, how infectious can we get?
I
So
mean,
now I've been told by somebody
never going to end, Buff.
It's never going to end. Now I've been told by somebody inside, I'm not trying to freak people out. You still got to be careful. I came back from Jacksonville with nobody wearing a mask and the great show that was. And, you know, I've been very careful not to go around my mom and all that, and been testing myself for the last couple of days. I'm negative, thank God.
Ohio, not Jacksonville.
Jacksonville's
Jacksonville's
I
next
can't
week.
remember. Jacksonville's in April. Pardon me. Columbus, Ohio. So I heard on the inside, I'm not saying from where, the next 2 months are the telltale sign how bad this is going to spread, just like before. So we'll see.
Well, it's going to be summertime, so that makes sense.
Well, here's the issue. Like we're moving forward. There's no mask mandate anymore here in Southern California, and like we've been here before, and we quickly had to go back. So I'm knocking on wood that we're not having to go back.
Me too, because I've been enjoying some freedom and social life recently instead of being clubbed up, you know, or housed up.
Yep.
Question: when you guys go into a supermarket currently,
I wear a mask.
Mask.
I wear a mask.
Yeah, I still do, just out of habit.
So do I.
Pharmacies.
And nobody's wearing fucking masks in there. And I'm like, oh God. Well, there are like the older.
No, there are people. There are people.
Less.
So here's the thing that's interesting to me is there are still signs that say, if you are not vaccinated, please wear a mask.
Right.
And the unvaccinated people are also anti-mask, and it's odd.
So
like
a bunch of unvaccinated people are now free to go in because no one is asking for vaccination cards at the door of your local supermarket. Not
right. And you know, I hadn't noticed this much. I hadn't really gone out much here in Southern California during, 2021. But when I was traveling for the UFC, I would go out to, eat because we had to go out and eat. And everywhere, like in New York, is asking for your vaccination card. Where here, I've never been asked for a vaccination card.
I have at a Japanese restaurant. If you go in, if you want to sit inside, they ask, but if
maybe that's what it is. I've only sat outside here.
But if you're outside, they don't ask you.
Got it.
Yeah. I've had for movie premieres and the one that I went to during the COVID period and all. But anyway, that's the state we're in. It's not ending. It's just slowing down, thank God, and we have some level of normality. But the effect psychologically on people, including even myself, over this last 2 years, I've noticed, some social changes or whatever. Do you know what I mean, Sammy? I think we've all been affected by this in some way, shape, or form.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I mean, I have a 10-year-old son who his social development has been stunted to a significant degree.
Yeah, no, we see that in all the kids.
With other kids.
Yep.
Hey,
okay.
I know where you're going to go. Before you go there, I don't know if you plan on bringing this up at some point in the show, but I really want to I just want to know what your guys' thoughts on the whole Clarence Thomas wife thing. The whole Ginny Thomas.
Yeah,
this really part of an insurrection, helping instigate an insurrection, texting Mark Meadows, doing all this stuff. A Supreme Court justice wife inserting herself in an insurrection is inappropriate.
Yeah, I mean, it goes without saying. I can't believe we're still on this. Like, this hasn't been taken care of, and the files and everything haven't come out. Like, it's insane.
It's now coming. All of this shit is now coming to the forefront, and people are talking because I think they want him to recuse himself from hearing certain things having to do with the January 6th commission, et cetera, because his wife seemingly had something to do with it. Unless I'm mistaking the news.
No, that's the vibe I got, Sam, as well. So
instead of talking about shit like this, we're now going to be talking about what you're going to be talking about, Bruce, because
I'll get there.
I know, but okay. I don't know.
We're going to come up to the segment of the show for the Oscars, the 2022 Oscar Awards for the 2021 films, sponsored by FanDuel. The greatest site for sports betting on the internet. Proud to be an ambassador for FanDuel, but check out FanDuel.com for all your needs.
Do they have a line on Will Smith versus Chris Rock yet or no?
No, but that's where we're going. Okay, let's start this
How do
off.
you spell the name? FanDuel?
FanDuel. FanDuel.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, FanDuel. All right, the Oscars. Let me preface this with a couple things before we get into the situation, the slap that hurt around the world. I know from Kristen's husband, Chris, is a lighting expert, and his company did the governor's ball. He was there at the event. I thought when I turned on the Oscars that versus recent years, the three comedians, Amy Schumer and the other two, I'm sorry, I'll get their names in a second.
Schumer,
Amy Schumer. They did a great job. I thought they opened it up. Their humor was strong. Some strong things, but funny things said about certain people in the audience that did not get upset. If you've ever been to a Don Rickles show or a comedic show, stand-up comedy, that's their job, barring being too crass or whatever. So we'll just start with that. Now, everybody that was a guest of the Oscar got the gift bag. I always love these gift bags. The gift bag this year was $140,000 gift bag.
what?
$140,000. The gift bag had everything.
Oh, yeah.
What was it? A Tesla?
All expenses paid trip to Scotland, 3-night stay at a fancy castle. That's 50 G's. Free construction
Dang.
for home renovation, 25 G's. 4-night visit to a luxury spa resort, 15 G's. Plot of land in the UK and a noble title and free lipo, 12,000.
Oh my
Right?
God. Jesus Christ.
Hey, they don't give you this stuff at the MMA awards.
Now,
No.
but here's the thing. Now, people don't know this, and this goes back to let's make a deal. If you even got an elephant as one of those gag gifts, if you got a car and you accepted that car and that car's worth $40,000, you were
Yeah.
liable for taxes.
Yep.
So now this doesn't mean they've taken it, but anybody that accepts one of these, right, it
Is
has to be taxed. And at the tax brackets of mostly celebs is 50% taxes. So you really wind up paying for half of it.
Yeah,
right?
it's insane.
Yeah, when you think about it. So that's okay. We'll start there. The budget for the Oscars, from an inside note I have, was $45 million this year, right? Which is the cost of a major motion picture. I thought versus recent years where I was not that excited to watch the Oscars because I wasn't up on a couple of the films, but up on most of them. They've been drab recently, whatever. I thought this was one of the best produced Oscar shows, the humor, the glamour, the fact they were spaced out at tables. It was more of a personalized setting. I really enjoyed it until we get to what we're going to talk about. Okay. And then I enjoyed it afterwards to a point.
Can I tell you that I have a best friend who, by the way, I co-produced the Dying Laughing comedy documentary with.
Right.
Stars in it. He's a comic. He's also like a very accomplished Hollywood television writer. He wrote on the Emmys and he wrote on the AMAs and he wrote on the Oscars. So I have not heard from him. I wrote him that night. I was like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. And then my next question was that a scripted joke or, the joke or what? And I've never heard back from him. I'm sure everyone's been bombarding him. And I'm sure there's probably people that are telling them they can't say anything. Right.
Yeah. But that was written. That was written.
That was my question. Was that a scripted joke? What he said? And
yeah.
then,
Let's start off for the benefit. Right now, we're getting a little ahead of us. Let's explain what happened because there are people.
Everyone knows what happened.
Everyone knows about it, but let's, for the benefit, just lay it out. I'll lay it out real quick. Okay. Chris Rock came out to do his Oscar presentation, went into his dissertation, his comedic thing. He had supposedly no idea that Jada Smith suffered from, what is it called? Alopecia, which causes hair to fall out. And he made the joke, oh, cute Mauser, what's going on with the helmet?
Oh, that's different. Don't worry.
Okay.
We'll get to that later.
Okay. So he made the joke, which immediately we all saw Will Smith started to break up laughing. And we saw where she got a look on her face. Now, my TV stalled. Okay. And I actually called my mom's house because she was watching the Oscars. I said, Mom, did your TV stall? Yeah. So then I realized that somebody hit that red button to stop it. And then it came back and you saw Will Smith mouthing with no language, but I could lip read exactly what he says. Keep my wife's name out of it.
What do you mean it stalled? Like the audio cut out, but you still saw the slap and everything.
No.
It
stopped.
No, you didn't see anything because I was watching it live.
Saw the slap.
So they dumped it. Okay.
Saw the slap. They hit the button. It stopped. It came back to show Will Smith saying what he said without
Yeah.
without even coming on
Okay.
the TV.
So
Yeah.
you saw.
Easily
Okay.
read his
So
mouth.
Because
you
they
saw
have,
this.
they have a time delay. Clearly,
Right.
they have
Right.
to
Yeah,
have live
it's a dump.
telecast.
So yeah, it's a dump. So like
Okay.
you run basically anywhere from 15 to 30 seconds behind, so you can press this button and then it jumps real time.
Exactly. So with that being said, when the film and the videos all over the place from TMZ to name it, showing what actually happened, you see Will Smith laugh, you see his wife get the disturbed look
They
on her
died.
face.
Mhm.
And I guess it was almost like the Godfather or Godmother move, hey, take care of business. And he walked up there. And when he walked up, and at first, when I thought, wow, he punched in front of his face and nothing happened. And it was a joke until they cut away. And I could tell something serious happened. And then you watch it on all the other things and you realize he did slap him. Tito Ortiz put out a tweet yesterday or the day before saying, I'm a professional fighter, and that was not a real slap. And I'm like, Tito, what are you looking at? Come on.
So this is the problem. Everybody is a conspiracy theorist now. Like, I'll tell you straight up, it was 100% authentic and real because the way they handled it, it was a nightmare for them.
Well,
Okay,
first
and
off, you don't
also-
photograph. I'm sorry, saying 1 second. You don't photograph in a camera angle him walking up. That was not the right camera angle for a joke or a stage situation. And you don't go sit in your seat and profoundly put out the F-bomb where kids and everybody's watching one of the biggest shows on
network television.
On network television. And the other thing is that slapping a man in public, as I've said before,
That's assault.
yeah, I've done this too. It's the worst thing you can do to humiliate another man in the room.
Emasculate him. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Really. Oh my God. I have so much I have to say about this. First of all, I saw an interview with Wanda Sykes on Ellen DeGeneres where Wanda Sykes was horrified, disgusted, upset, has PTSD from the entire experience, mainly because she felt that it was inappropriate under the circumstances, that there's a time and place for things to be handled, that it took away from, Questlove's big award. Did anybody even know that this guy fucking won for his big documentary? No, that it took away the shine of his thing. There were 2 Black comic hosts of the Oscars, 3 women hosts of the Oscars, all of which is unprecedented. There were other massive, big wins for the Black community, for all communities, the transgender community. All these things were overshadowed. Will Smith ended up winning the Best Actor award and took the shine off of his own win. And there is all kinds of video floating around on the internet that I've seen on Michael Rappaport's Twitter, it's everywhere. It's another angle where Jada Pinkett Smith, they're all laughing at his joke. And Will Smith gets up, goes. Now, one thing I read in one other report that Chris Rock has a debilitating, he has a condition where he can't read body gestures and facial expressions. It's called something specific. Really? So that's why he leaned into Will Smith when he was walking up, because he didn't read the anger on his face and his body language. He leaned into the slap. He had no idea it was coming. That's first and foremost. When Will Smith walked back, the angle of this camera, and you can find it on Michael Rappaport's Twitter, shows she's laughing. She thinks it's hilarious. Then he sits down. She never says anything to her husband. She's looking straight ahead, laughing. She doesn't say, baby, why did you do that? Oh my God, baby, thank you for defending me. Zero, zippo.
Well, they got some weird things going on in there.
Okay, so, and then the Oscar stage asked him to leave. At no point on any video did anybody go up to him. They should have walked right straight up to this man, walking from that stage, and walked him right out of the building.
Well,
if it was
okay,
else,
all right, let's stop.
They knew he won.
Let's stop on that. Let's stop on that point right there. You just brought up a very salient point to the situation, Sammy. If somebody slaps somebody like that at a public event, even a UFC,
you're getting arrested.
You get removed.
Yeah.
Right.
Bye.
Now they do claim, the Oscar people claim that they had a tete-a-tete with his management in the backstage, that they went and we're going to remove Will Smith.
Never been allowed to stay and win his fucking award. And Wanda Sykes,
Sammy, let me finish.
They announced him. They should have said, sorry, Will Smith's not in the building to accept his award.
I understand your fear over that, and I can, not that I didn't think the same thing at the time. And
I mean, how awful. They rewarded a bully, a man. And also, if you know anything about Chris Rock, He was bullied and horribly bullied his whole life, beaten up. He's been as much as Jada Pinkett Smith thinks she's been vocal about alopecia, and I didn't even fucking know this, and I'm all over everything. I had zero idea that she had alopecia. I do know that Chris Rock has talked a multi times publicly about being bullied. There's something about Chris. That show is about him being bullied. Like, it was his life story. So he already has issues with people doing shit to him and walking all over him. And God bless his fucking composure. How could any man recover from being slapped, not just in a room full of your peers, but on national television in front of millions and millions and millions of people? And quite frankly, that's assault. And you know what? Even if he didn't want to press charges, who's to say the DA couldn't press charges, or the Academy couldn't press charges, or anybody watching press charges? And sometimes it's not up to the victim to press the fucking charges. FYI, anybody can press the charges.
Right. Okay. So with all that being said, we'll see what happens in the afterwash of the situation.
I'm
but
so upset about it.
They claim, no, I can tell you, a lot of people are upset, and for many different reasons.
And I really like the Smiths. I'm sorry. Like, they're great people, but they also open themselves up for whatever criticisms they receive. This one's the wife's talking about banging the son's best friend on the same roof, and this and Tupac and that, and their business is fucking everywhere. So the thought of someone making a joke, and it wasn't even about, and by the way, someone else made a joke at the Oscars earlier about the wife's infidelity, and it was the woman comedian. I think it was Regina King.
Here's the thing, and Bruce, you alluded to it.
Go and slap her. Why did he feel that he could go slap Chris Rock over a G.I. Jane reference?
Well, okay, TJ, hold that thought 1 second. Real quick, Sammy. This is one of the reasons why the Comedy Store has publicly stated they're worried about how people are going to react to comedians on stage right now. Another comedy show and store in shop in New York of a different type.
It allows
a sign.
To become
it now creates, because there's been no repercussion, there's been nothing that's come of it, no disciplinary action taken, was not removed. So people out there are going to think, hey, I can get away with this too.
Yes. It basically is rewarding that behavior on a national scale in front of everyone. Can I tell you something? My cousin, we talked about this very passionately yesterday, and she has 2 adult sons who were watching in their bedrooms, and they were like, whoa, oh my God, fuck, did you see that shit? Oh, fuck, man. He clocked him. They felt bad and stuff, but the initial reactions like, oh, fuck, it's not like horrified. It gives the worst impression to young kids that this behavior is fucking okay.
Another example that we live in a decaying society of morality. I say it every year. I hate every show, I hate saying that. That's why I think it's up to us as individuals, and I'm talking to everybody listening to this show, to be a role model to your sphere of influence. I'm friggin' sick of this shit. Okay? Enough. Go ahead, TJ.
I think you alluded to it earlier. If you go to an event like this, and there's a comedy routine of any sort, like, you have to be prepared to maybe be the target of that. It's just part of that world a little bit. And if you take offense to it, I think, Sammy, you said it too. There's a time and a place to sort of sort that out, and never should it be sorted out with violence.
If Will Smith was in the audience of a Don Rickles live comedy show, if you remember Don Rickles' humor, I've seen it numerous times, I think he would have beat the crap out of Don Rickles.
Yeah, but also here's one thing on his behalf and other entertainers' behalfs. Typically, the Oscars isn't a roast, right?
It's not.
So typically, Oscars is celebrating and lauding everyone in the room, not taking little like jibbity jabs and making little jokes and diddly do. So that's why I kind of wanted to know. And also, you saw Chris. He's like, "Oh, I could have even said more." Do you remember? He like,
yeah. I think he was gonna go some places and spin off of that, but
and be like, "Yeah, you really wanna? The gloves are off, bitch." But then he wouldn't have come off looking like the gentleman and scholar that he did.
He came off so well. He was one of the biggest winners of that night. Seriously, like the way that he was composed and just moved on. Just
at the party afterwards, Wanda Sykes had told Ellen that Chris Rock had walked up to her and he apologized profusely. And she's like, "Why are you apologizing?" He goes, "Because this was supposed to be your girl's night. Like, this was not about me or any of it. And it ended up being all for the wrong fucking reasons. And I'm just really sorry. And she's like, I would have loved that apology from fucking Will Smith. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, you know, the White House didn't comment. President Biden's in Ukraine or over there in that area, and he hasn't seen it. He says so they haven't made a comment. They won't condemn it as of yet. Not that they have to step in and do that, but we'll see what the aftermath.
What are you talking about? The White House?
The White House. There's an article. The White House won't condemn the Smith slap because the president hasn't
Who
seen.
cares?
But
it doesn't matter. You don't even need the White House to intervene
why
on this
does
situation.
the White House have to make a comment, an official
They
comment?
don't. Someone just
Here's
asked.
the other thing. The FCC has received 66 or the Oscars have received 66 FCC complaints.
Yes, dude, because you can't have violence on television. I'm telling you, they're going to get in big fucking trouble.
What do you mean you can't have violence on television? Mixed martial arts is one of the biggest hubs of.
Hold on. You are tuning into mixed martial arts and paying a subscription fee to see guys beat the fuck out of each other and bleed and all the rest of it. You don't turn on network television with your 5-year-old or your 6 or 7 or 8-year-old during primetime TV, which actually came on at like 5 or 6 in the afternoon, and expect to see violence like that.
Yeah, well, FCC complaints, that's a business where you're guilty until you're proven innocent.
Around, dude. Watch. Watch.
It's 66. It's 66 viewers.
I can't talk today, guys. You're not letting me talk.
No, TJ, but it's 66 viewer complaints, which actually seems kind of light in the overall picture.
Right, but you're guilty until proven innocent in that world. And the thing is, yes, Sam, you're right. I can see where you're, on the right path when it comes to violence on television. But I think the bigger issue, even though it was censored and beeped, is the language, and that is something that
like 5 times from his seat.
Right.
It's horrible. And you also know, as an entertainer, you cannot act like that on live television. That will get you barred for life from fucking live television. And one more thing, FCC complaints, because as a radio host, when I was with CBS Radio, I know very well about FCC complaints. And for every one complaint, they attribute it to either 10,000 listeners or 100,000 listeners. But I think it's 10,000. So for each complaint, those 66, it's really 66,000 people that have complained.
And that's low. That's for radio on a lower frequency. When it's national television, Sam, it's significantly higher than that. I don't know if they're going to get fined necessarily, but they're going to have to deal with a lot of crap. And honestly, the way that they handle this moving forward, it's going to set a precedent. And that's why Will Smith should have been removed.
Now, next question. How would you have handled it? You know how you handle it? You sit there, you let the show go on, right? You take care of your business after the show is over, backstage. I'm not saying go back and beat the crap out of Chris Rock or whatever.
No, you can't have you can't
and you make your point known after the show is over.
You know what? I can even see, honestly, yelling from your seat, keep my wife's name out your mouth. Not fuck, not several times, one time, man to man. If that's really your aim, is to stand up for your fucking wife, man to man, look at, and that's all he would have fucking needed. He didn't need, and that was after that, like,
Sammy, if you were him and you can keep an F-bomb out of your mouth, more power to you, because you certainly don't do on this show.
One F-bomb. But again, we're not entertainers on a grand scale making billions and millions and billions of fucking dollars. And you have a responsibility to your job to act a certain way as a public figure.
Yeah. You want to talk about morality clauses? My goodness.
Where you're winning the Best Actor award.
Do you think he had a little bit of a meltdown during his acceptance speech?
Oh yeah, he was like, if I could still stay and if you'll still have me, but here's the thing, and I will say, he was walked over his whole life, like Chris Rock. So therefore, he should be more understanding and empathetic. That he
should knows better. Yeah, that's what bothered me about it is again, he said like love makes you do crazy things. Sure, I understand that, but at the same time, like. Everyone was laughing. I don't understand how you go from ha to anger.
And he was fucking laughing. He fucking laughed. He laughed. G.I. Jane. And by the way, not such a bad fucking reference. Demi Moore was the fucking shit in that movie. So what? And I don't even think this kid even knew she had fucking alopecia.
No, he claims they didn't. They claim he did not know.
Well, how would he know? How does
someone wrote that joke for him too?
Facebook Red Table. Who the fuck watches that thing? Not one.
Again, like that was a written joke. It was on a teleprompter. It wasn't the best joke in the world, but again, like the fact that it was to me somewhat harmless. Like it just goes to the fact that Will Smith needed to just calm down and handle his business elsewhere.
Obviously, here's what it says more than anything. What the fuck is going on really between the two of them at home? Because that was, one of the comics I was watching. There's a really cool, There's a really cool internet thing, like TV. Hold on, where the fracking?
While you're looking for that, real quick, earlier in the show, the three girls that were hosting it that were very funny, ladies rather, J.K. Simmons, the fine character actor that plays the Daily Bugle editor in the Spider-Man series, they made a joke about him, comparing him to one of these, I forget the kid's name, younger, good-looking actor in the audience that had no shirt under his tux, and how kind of a joke about how J.K. Simmons, to some extent, is aging, right, or has aged, and you saw him kind of get a little bothered by it, but he didn't do anything. There's comedians. There was a number of barbs thrown out throughout the show before this.
I understand that the Oscars maybe doesn't normally do this, but when you have comedians doing it, I would expect there to be some ribbing, and it was mild ribbing. It wasn't super offensive.
What does this say about a comedy show roast? One of my favorite shows to watch. My God, these people are ripped apart on that show, right?
This is called Urban Flavors with a Z TV. And basically there's a YouTube video from them with a bunch of comics talking about their take on what happened, like DL Hughley, a whole bunch of people, and how they would have handled it if it were them, et cetera, and how disappointed, they are in the entire situation. Like,
so I don't mean to like victim shame here, but I think if you're Jada Pinkett Smith, that if you are going to shave your head, you're kind of putting it out there. Like
another thing that I found on Michael Rappaport's Twitter, a video of her owning her bald head, saying that she used to have issues with it, but now she doesn't give a damn, and she loves it, and she
looks beautiful, and
she loves it. So how can you go from loving it 1 minute and then all of a sudden you're insulted at the Oscars?
Again,
else happening.
Yeah, so I didn't know about their whole open relationship and all of that stuff. That was news to me. I don't pay attention to celebrity gossip generally.
Which has no bearing on this issue.
No, but my issue here is, they've gone through some tough times, and they seem to be through the other side of it. But the fact that this happened, it draws the ire of millions of people and draws negative attention, and it just spins from there. And we're sitting here spending way too much time on this topic at this point. Yeah, but the bottom line is you invite a lot of chaos and a lot of controversy, and by doing that, and he just should have sat on his hands.
Right. And also, too, we're not in their seats. We're not in Jada's seat. We're not in Will Smith's seat. We don't know what goes through their heads. Obviously, you see how it's expressed. But the bottom line is, it was wrong.
Yeah, you can't hit somebody. It
was wrong. It's assault. My first reaction from my brother, Brian, he said, if he's in the same room, what do? You arrest the guy right there. That was assault.
Yeah, you remove him.
You remove him and you arrest him.
One of the things that DL Hughley said in the thing is plane crashes don't happen because of one thing that went wrong. It's like a bunch of backup, like a bunch of things all end up enabling a plane to go down. So his meltdown on television was a conglomeration. It wasn't just the one comment that Chris Rock made. DL Hughley felt it was a conglomeration of things, probably privately, that they're going through, that was like the last straw for them, that he acted the way, and he snapped, and he acted the way.
And on one last note, before I go into a little side note, Denzel Washington during the break, said to him, it's when it's something along the lines of when you're at the peak of your career, that's when the devil comes marching for you or looking for you, Interpret that any way you want to see it from the fine actor Denzel Washington. Jake Paul has reacted to the situation. Not that we all care what Jake Paul has to say, but in this case, he's put out $15 million for Will Smith and Chris Rock to box it out.
Oh God.
But at the same time, he made a $60 million offer to Kanye West and Pete Davidson to box it out. So ask yourself, which one would you rather see? If
Neither.
Me too. Neither. Neither. All right. As we're on the field of acting, this was very surprising. I've been watching Bruce Willis in a few movies recently that he does. He's banging out 2 or 3 a year. You know, these, I don't want to say low budget, but not the A-list type films he does, but they're entertaining. But he's been moving kind of slow. And I noticed his speech, and I even asked Brian, and he's only like 2 years older than I am or so. And I was wondering, God, the energetic Bruce Willis, and why does he seem like he's having a hard time walking? Well, it just came out that he suffers from aphasia.
What's that?
Right. Aphasia is basically, let me get a proper reading on this. Aphasia impacts the ability to comprehend words and or speak. It can be caused by strokes, tumors, or other brain damage.
Oh, wow.
Right? But the full diagnosis is not there. He's been real busy, in dozens of movies in the last 2 years, like I just said. Let's just give him best wishes and hope that everything comes through okay. But it's a debilitating disease that can impact his cognitive abilities. And that's what I was noticing in the films. He was not Bruce, he's that guy. Right.
And
wasn't that guy.
What is alarming too with that, Bruce, is the fact that you're seeing it in films. Those things are obviously heavily edited. So what is ending up on the cutting room floor? Like,
exactly. I don't know. I let's just wish him the best.
Yeah. Is it something they can treat and actually get over, or is it something that you're kind of stuck with? If it's brain damage, I assume it's probably not going anywhere. You just try to mitigate it as much as you can.
From what I've read, not being a medical professional, I think it's just however it develops, and you deal with it as best you can. Another instance, I watched the Val Kilmer documentary. And this Val Kilmer documentary, one of the finest actors of his generation, of our generation, who's won an Oscar for his role as in The Doors, he had throat cancer, right?
Mm-hmm.
My brother Michael had throat cancer in 2008, and luckily didn't have radiation or chemotherapy. He got it cut out, and he was back to work in 5 weeks. And he had stage 3 cancer. He was very lucky. I wrote about it in my book, and and you can read about it.
I didn't know he returned in 5 weeks. That's insane.
In 5 weeks, he woke up the next morning. He went, said to himself, "Ladies and gentlemen," and just so he could hear his voice.
Wow.
And I filled in for him on an HBO big boxing event, and he was back to work in 5 weeks. But Kilmer had the therapy. He's got the hole in his neck now.
Mm.
He's only 62. Looks very, very aged. A very handsome man, very aged. And this is a very effective when you watch it. It's very interesting if you're a film buff to see all the history of films, and it goes through all the movies he did, from Tombstone to you name it, into where he got the cancer, and now he's going to talk like he can't talk very bad. It's like that. That's where he's at now. Crazy. These debilitating diseases. Okay, let's get on a positive note before we sign off. I had last week in Columbus, Ohio,
Sorry.
that's okay.
Sorry, everyone.
I did my first, because of COVID. I haven't made very many appearances for Puncher's Chance, but I made a formal appearance where Arena Wine and Spirits down in Columbus, Ohio. Very, very, very cool place to go get your spirit and your liquors and all your stuff you enjoy down there. I flew in. I took a 5:30 flight of LA. I landed, boots on the ground, went to the appearance, was scheduled for 2 hours, 20 cases of Puncher's Chance. Got there. They were lined up around the block, sold out every bottle. I had to sign every bottle, take pictures with everybody. Sold out in an hour and 15 minutes.
That's awesome, Bruce.
Very proud to say that.
Congrats.
Big cheers to Puncher's Chance. Thank you. So that's going great. All right, time to sign off, guys. Sammy, what's up?
She's taking a photo of us. Busted. Stop making those noises, Sam. It freaks me out.
Sammy, what's up?
Oh, nothing.
He wants your Twitter and stuff. That's what he wants.
Oh yeah. Sam's Pajama Party on the Instagram, The Single Life on the Twitter, Sammy Phillips on Facebook, and pick up Penthouse magazine on your newsstands, all newsstands and all bookstores and airports nationwide. Thanks.
Very cool, Sammy. Are we still, without giving anything away, are we still going to have a conversation regarding?
Oh yeah, we have a big thing for you.
Yep. Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
We'll let the public think what that might be.
Yeah.
TJ, go ahead.
big thing for you. I think it's supposed to be the other way around. Never mind. At TJ DeSantis on Twitter. Check out my show Extra Rounds on UFC Fight Pass. You can find it live Wednesdays or Thursdays at 5 p.m. Pacific time on the UFC Fight Pass Facebook page, or you can check it out. The archive's always available on UFC Fight Pass.
And one other note on the thank you, TJ. One other note on the Puncher Chan signing I did. There was a tweet, and I found this adorable. Very actually honored. I was honored by the tweet. There was a number of tweets coming out of people who had a great time, at the event. The guy wrote, I drove 5 hours to shake Bruce Buffer's hand, forgot my ID. I couldn't get in to do so.
Oh, no.
5 hours back, very upset, LOL, to get home and realize that my ID was in the pair of trunks in the trunk of my car.
No. You got to send this guy like something.
Well, if you watch this show and you hear this show, right, TJ, where is it, TJ?
Hang on. I don't know. DeSantisMMA@gmail.com.
There you go. Send TJ a note and I will send you a
Get at me on Twitter. It's a lot easier on Twitter.
Yeah, get him into it, but it's got to be there. I can't do this for 50,000 people, and I'll send him a signed picture.
No, we're going to make sure it's the guy.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, everybody. Excellent show in Columbus, Ohio. Amazing show. Kudos to all the amazing UFC fans in attendance. It was rabid. I felt like I was in Brazil or Canada, and I know it's so exciting to have a UFC come to town, selling out. Fantastic show, high energy, had a great time doing it, and kudos to all the fighters. Another great show. London show, amazing, followed by that. I'll be back in the Octagon next week at the Apex in Las Vegas.
Nope, Jacksonville.
Hold on, TJ.
Jacksonville.
Oh, see, if it's Tuesday, this must be Belgium. I'm sorry. I will be in Jacksonville, Florida for UFC 273, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Jacksonville, Florida. Pardon me for that.
I got you, Buff.
We'll cover that next week. This is how my life gets sometimes. And then I'll be in Vegas on April 16th.
Yes.
All right. Sounds good. Everybody, thank you so much. Very interesting show today. If you have any questions or you share our views or don't share our views, you can write the show and we'll discuss your emails, any ones that are interesting to discuss. And TJ, again, give that email again. DeSantisMMA@gmail.com. Wonderful. No sex and relationship questions today. I think we needed to cover some important topics, but we'll be back. We'll get Ray on the show and we'll cover a number of topics on that.
Ray and Sammy. It's must listen to radio.
Got to have that. I love Ray's opinions. And of course, we all love Sammy's opinions. So Sammy, love you. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Have a wonderful weekend and a great week. TJ, you do the same. Everybody out there, set your goals, write them down, learn about them. So when you step on that path, on that yellow brick road to success and to happiness and fulfillment in life, you be the best you can be, whether you're number 1, number 2, number 10, or the champion of the world. As long as you did your best, you're winning. And kudos to that. Be a winner. Buffer out. Love you all. Cheers.